Hello and welcome once again to Crick All Time 11. I recently made a video about the Australian Cricket Dream Test 11, but I know it was really, for the hardcore cricket fans, I can say it would only make sense to you if you've been doing a lot of research on these ancient cricket players and, mugging up statistics. So it was it's not for the general audience, but today I wanted to make a shorter video on something that is really important at this point of time. I wanted to speak about the South African cricket team's best possible lineup for the 2019 World Cup. The World Cup is going to be played in England and Wales in May of 2019. And I just wanted to talk about this team because I felt they really had a chance of winning last time had they ticked a few boxes. They were not able to hold themselves together in the crunch moment, but I feel this time they have a slightly better chance if they follow this particular strategy, which I'm going to suggest about. Well, I'm a huge fan of South African cricket, and I don't think it's a big secret. And ever since Sachin Tendulkar retired, I've just found South Africa to be my most favorite team, and AB de Villiers to be my one of my favorite batsmen, and everybody in that team for that matter. And it was really sad for me to see that they narrowly lost in that heartbreaking semi-final last year against New Zealand. They were the pre-tournament favorites along with Australia, but somehow they just could not go through. But this time, I feel they have a slightly better squad. I think they have more experience this time, but they're missing out on one trick, and I want to specify what that thing is, and I want to suggest what is the thing that they can change to come up with a lot better team. And I hope Cricket South Africa definitely will see this video because I feel this is going to be really, really vital for them in their World Cup campaign, and hopefully they'll win it. So let's address a few issues that South Africa had in the last World Cup. Now, firstly, their death bowling wasn't up to the mark. Now, Dale Steyn is often underrated as a death bowler, but statistics say that he's a very fine economical bowler. He has an economy rate of only about 5 in the last 10 overs. So I strongly feel he's a good death bowler, but he was not used properly. The other thing that was in South Africa was they lacked a team balance in their lower order. That's what I felt. They had a slightly weak lower order, which was not, it was clearly visible in the games against India as well as Pakistan, where they crumbled in chases. So what do you do? And what is the bonus that South Africa have this time, which they did not have last time? Well, it's basically two main players. One is Aiden Markram and one is Kagiso Rabada. Both of them were not there in the 2015 World Cup, but I feel they are fantastic players. Now let's talk about Aiden Markram. He's just 23, and he was given captaincy against India in that series, which I felt was slightly unfair on his part because you're not even properly in the team and you've been told to do captaincy against that to a quality opposition like India, and he had a lot of big names in the team like Dumini and Amla, and he had to captain them, so it was a lot of pressure for the young man. But he's the only South African captain. Now this is really an unbelievable, in fact an extraordinary statistic about Aiden Markram. He's the only South African captain to win an ICC trophy ever. South Africa has never won a World Cup. South Africa has never won a Champions Trophy. The only thing that they have won is the Under-19s trophy, and that was when Aiden Markram was captain, I think 2 or 3 years back. So that's one thing in his credit, and he showed against India that he's a very capable leader, though he did not win the series, due to many players being injured, some key players not being in good form, and India also playing really well. But I think Aiden Markram was a pretty good captain in that series. Kagiso Rabada is without doubt right now the best fast bowler in the world at the moment, and he's rank 1 in Test cricket as well. He's a very good bowler in ODI, very good swing bowler at the start, and he can also get the ball to reverse towards the end of the innings. But you don't see much of reverse swing in ODI cricket nowadays because they use 2 new balls at the beginning. But he's still a very good bowler, I feel, in ODI cricket. He's got a very good Yorker. He hits the 145, 150 mark consistently. He's got a very good bouncer as well. He's a very consistent bowler and very energetic and aggressive bowler. It's led him to some trouble of late, but I still think he's just Dale Steyn's successor. That's all I can say about Kagiso Rabada. So now these two are the additions for South Africa compared to their 2015 World Cup campaign, which slightly went haywire towards the end. Okay, so where do I start? I want to speak about the opening, and this is the biggest change that I am proposing for South Africa in this World Cup. It might seem obvious that you want Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock to open the batting, but I beg to differ. I feel Aiden Markram and Quinton de Kock should open the batting. Now, I don't know whether South Africa is actually going to do this when the time comes, because I feel having Aiden Markram and Quinton de Kock at the top is going to have two huge advantages. The first advantage is that both of those are very free-flowing players, and you're giving them a license to just destroy the opposition in the power play overs at the first 10 overs. And the second advantage is you play Hashim Amla at number 3, and that gives a lot of stability to that middle order. Well, Amla averages 50 plus. He's probably, according to me, the greatest opener ODI cricket has ever seen after Sachin Tendulkar. Definitely in the modern era, he's the best opener, and he has a very healthy strike rate of about 90 or so. So he's an ODI legend. There's no doubt about it. But is he being utilized in the best possible way as an opener? Well, he definitely has a very good record opening the batting, but I don't know if for the team it's a good thing if he plays opening. It's more like MS Dhoni playing for India. Should he play at number 4 because he's got a good record there, or should he play at number 6 for the sake of the team? So I feel Quinton de Kock and Aiden Markram are both similar kind of players. They take the attack to the opposition, so you'll get a very good start. So one of them is going to get out, that's for sure. One of them is going to get a top edge, or one of them is going to hit straight to the cover fielder at some point of time, maybe in the 6th or 7th over. But when you finish the power play, you're going to have at least 50 to 60 runs on the board consistently with de Kock and Markram opening. And you get Hashim Amla in the middle overs to face the spin bowling, which has been South Africa's slight weak point, I can say. I don't think it's actually a weak point, but that's what was exposed in the series against India. So if Hashim Amla plays at number 3, he's the best player of spin in South Africa. He is going to control that middle period. That's what Kepler Wessels and Sanjay Manjrekar were stressing throughout that series against India. Why in the world is your best player of spin not facing spin when South Africa was having the trouble facing Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal? So I feel Amla at 3 solves that issue. Now we come to the lower order. This was the problem for South Africa in the 2015 World Cup. So now I have two scenarios here. AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis. Definitely, there's no question about that. They're going to play at 4 and 5. And now I think we can change this based on the game situation. I think if the second wicket falls before the 20th over, Faf du Plessis should come ahead of AB de Villiers because he stabilizes the innings to some extent. And there's another reason as well, which I'm going to come to shortly. If the second wicket falls after the 20th over, I think AB de Villiers should walk in at number 4. Now, why do you think du Plessis should bat above de Villiers if the wicket falls slightly early? Because I think AB de Villiers is a perfectly capable innings builder and a very good player at number 4. I think de Villiers should not go at number 4 if the second wicket falls early, because you don't want the opposition to get the upper hand. Because if de Villiers comes in at number 4 and South Africa is already 2 down and you say only 15 overs are done, the opposition knows that if they get AB de Villiers, that's basically the end of the game, because South Africa don't have much batting to come. But instead of that, if you send in Faf du Plessis at number 4, the opposition knows that de Villiers is still in the hut, so the damage can yet be done. And du Plessis will stabilize the middle period along with Amla or whoever is remaining. And then de Villiers can come in, say, in 30th over when there's a platform set. South Africa already scored 160, maybe 170 runs. And he can just play his natural game. So that's why I feel du Plessis and de Villiers can switch based on the situation of the game at number 4 and number 5. So now we come to number 6. I don't know if JP Duminy is going to be there in the 2019 World Cup. I don't see any reason why he should retire, but he has already retired from the Test arena. So it's up in the air as to whether Duminy is going to play or not. So that leaves me with two options at number 6. One is one of my favorite players ever, and the other is a really good find for South Africa. So that's David Miller and Hendrik Klaasen. Who do you play at number 6? I strongly feel both of them have exactly 50% chance of getting in, and either of them can be put into the team. I think whoever is fit on the given day, or whoever feels good, or whoever is in form, just can walk into the team at number 6, because both are absolutely lethal in the last few overs. They can take the attack to the opposition. They can absolutely rip you apart. I think both of them have a strike rate of above 100. David Miller has got a lot of experience compared to his 2015 World Cup, where he was just more of a pinch hitter, but now he's a more capable middle order player. We saw him score a wonderful 100 against Australia in a chase, and he's matured as a batsman, and he's played more than 100 games now. So I think he would be their pick because of the experience. You need experience in these big World Cup campaigns. But I wouldn't be disappointed with Hendrik Klaasen at all. I think he's a fantastic player of spin bowling, and he's very innovative, as we saw in that pink day game against India. So I think Klaasen or Miller would play that number 6 position. I would not be unhappy with either of them. If Dumini is fit, I think he would also fit in perfectly, because he'll give you the 4 or 5 overs, maybe even 8 overs if he's found his rhythm. He's a very good all-rounder. So that's my top 6. I would go with Markram and de Kock at the top, right-left combination, both very young and energetic and free-flowing players. I'd play Hashim Amla, AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis in the middle order. That's the same middle order that they play in the test format as well, and that's a very stable middle order. I don't see that middle order choking at all. You play Amla, de Villiers, du Plessis. You've got 3 players who have loads of experience, 3 players who are averaging very good in ODI crickets, and have a pretty good strike rate as well, and all the 3 have been captains for South Africa at some point of time, so they've got a lot of maturity in that middle order. So that would be my middle order, and I would have Henrik Klaasen or David Miller. Let's say David Miller because of the experience at number 6. Now again, number 7. So now this is a very important thing that every single ODI team in the world at the moment is thinking about. What is the balance of a team? How many all-rounders or how many bowlers do you need, or how many batsmen do you need? I feel if you have a very good top 6, you can afford to play a bowling all-rounder and 4 bowlers. You don't need more depth at number 7, 8, 9. I don't believe in batting deep. I just believe in having quality batting. So if you've got these top 6, I think you can look at the bowling abilities and then go for the 5 bowlers. One of them can be an all-rounder. So at number 7, I've got 3 candidates. In fact, I feel it could be Chris Morris or Andile Pekokwayo, and the unassuming Vernon Philander. Now, many of you might be thinking, why am I speaking about Vernon Philander? He might be more of a test bowler, but his ODI record speaks for himself. He's got an average of 24 with the ball, and he has an economy rate, I think, of around 4.8 or something like that. So he is an underrated ODI bowler, and he's really consistent. He might not be good at the death, but I would give him 6 overs with the new ball, and give him 3 overs somewhere in the middle, and then just keep 1 over at the death, because he can definitely give you 1 over in the first. He can give you a wicket in the first few overs. He's really accurate, and I think he has to be there in that ODI team. Well, again, it's left to the team management. I think Chris Morris is not bad at all. He's a very useful lower order batsman, can bowl 10 overs, very good at the death. He can bowl Yorkers. So it's between Morris and Philander. Pekokwayo, I don't know if he's good enough to make my final 11. He's played a lot of ODI cricket for South Africa in the last few years, but I just think it's between Morris and Philander. If you have to nail me down, I would go with Philander, but it's, I think, a little risky, so maybe we can say Chris Morris. Now let's talk about the last 4 players as the bowlers. The big question is, Dale Willem Steyn, according to me the greatest fast bowler in the last 20 years, is he going to play the World Cup? He's been injured, but I think he's got enough energy in him to play that one last World Cup for South Africa. He definitely deserves to play that World Cup for the amount of service that he has done to South African cricket in the last decade or so. Unbelievable player. He's just underrated, totally underrated player. Just for the stats, Dale Steyn in Test cricket has got the best strike rate in the history of cricket. There is no bowler in the history of cricket who has a better strike rate than Dale Steyn, which means he'll give you wickets in the shortest span of time in terms of the balls bowled. He might be a little expensive, but he'll give you the wickets every 7 overs, and that's unbelievable for a fast bowler in Test cricket. So Steyn, if he plays, he's going to be my number 1 seamer. And Kagiso Rabada, who is a unanimous pick, is as good as is AB de Villiers with the bat, Kagiso Rabada with the ball. Nobody will even question their place in the team. So Steyn and Rabada, probably the bowlers. If Steyn is not fit, I would probably play Junior Dala or Lungisani Ngidi. Any of them is fine. They are very good upcoming bowlers, and probably play 3 seamers. I mean, I don't have a problem. This is in England, and I would not mind playing Steyn, Rabada, and Ngidi, and Imran Tahir as the spinner. But if you want to play 2 spinners, I think sometimes when you play at Lords, you prefer to play 2 spinners. And if JP Dumini is not in the team, I think I would play both Tahir and Shamsi. Shamsi is a very good bowler, and he's a left-arm bowler, so you have very good variation between Imran Tahir and Tabrez Shamsi. So I would have Shamsi, Tahir, Steyn and Rabada. But if you want a 3rd seamer, you can replace Shamsi with Ngidi. So that would be my South African 11 for the World Cup, and I'll just write it down and show you the batting order, and it looks really solid. I don't see any weakness in that order, and I'll tell you why it is better than having Hashim Amla at the top of the order. Well, what would happen if Amla opened the batting is Markram will have to play at 4. I don't think he would be in the team at all if Amla opened the batting, because they would rather play both Miller and Klaasen. Well, I don't know if that's the best thing to do, because you have two really flamboyant lower order batsmen, but they're unpredictable. I mean, Markram is more of a stable ODI player, and I really want Aiden Markram in my team. And the biggest thing is I would want him to be my captain. Now, South Africa has had so many captaincy issues over the last few years, but I think Aiden Markram should be the captain, because since he's so young, he would be really, really brave, and he would experiment a lot. And I think being brave in a World Cup can be a very big thing. I think it can even result in South Africa winning the World Cup. So I strongly feel that Aiden Markram should be the captain. That's my view. I don't know how many of you will agree with me on that particular thing, but I feel he should be the captain. So this is my South African team. So you have Markram and de Kock. Then you have Amla, de Villiers, du Plessis. Du Plessis and de Villiers can change based on the situation of the game. Miller, I would not mind playing Klaasen as well. Then you have Morris or Philander, any of them. And then Steyn, Rabada, Tahir and Shamsi or Ngidi based on the pitch. So that's my South African team. Markram would be my captain, as I told you. And Quinton de Kock would be my wicket keeper. You've got a backup keeper in Henrik Klaasen as well. Strongly feel this time could well be South Africa's World Cup, playing in wonderful pace bowling conditions. De Villiers, Amla, du Plessis, Steyn, Tahir, all of them will be playing their last World Cup. They're all legends of the game, and the only thing that they have not achieved in their career is a World Cup victory. All the best, South Africa. All the best, Protea Fire. I am an Indian. I would love to see India in the finals as well, but as a cricket lover, I think de Villiers deserves that trophy at the tail end of his career. Dhoni has already won it, remember. Dhoni deserves it too. Kohli has time to win it. He can win it in 2023, maybe 2027 as well. Dhoni won it in 2011, and I think this is going to be AB de Villiers' and Hashim Amla's and Dale Steyn's World Cup. Cheers. Thank you.